services. Services should know about repositories. And if, for example, you use the TO, you create one more package CTO for repository, and that model. Usually it's some people use just one entity. For example, here it's, for example, entity, and use across these 3 layers. Now I will try to show approach with clean architecture and dependency direction. So usually you can find simple clean architecture. You can find something here. Okay. Entities, use cases, controllers, devices, web, and so on. So if you see, it's quite why usually clean architecture so popular, because correction of dependency is work another way. And for example, now service layers don't know about, for example, database layer. I will try to explain what is. So in this case, usually controller, okay, let's say services contains services contains 2 classes. Is, for example, we use example for to-do list. To-do list service and its implementation. And its implementation to-do list device simple. So now this next is let's say what contains repository. Repository contains 2 repository, usually repository plus. I will add this. Maybe also repository its interface and repository implementation. So something like that, and controller will look like just to do endpoint class, and it looks like so. So usually it's look like that. So now interface of repository located in repository package. What this mean is that pairwise package requires repository layer, and repository layer nothing new about service, and you want to ask me that what's wrong with this? It's work on common projects and it's okay, nothing. But if you will work on more complex application, you find that a lot of cross dependency broke your clear understanding the project. So why service should know which repository we use? So if you want to, instead of repository, use another repository, for example, in memory repository, then you need to change dependency inside services or model. Okay, let's say model and package is the same. So for simplification. So we decided to switch to in-memory repository, and now we need to do the same, implement separate implementation. Separate implementation, and okay. And now you need to change something in services. But what if I say, and I would say it's first, it will be first simple approach or common, I don't know how to say. So let's presume that I will try to copy all this and change my, and I will show my concerns about that. Let's say that device itself is required, and I will remove direction of dependency. Oh no. Delete. I need to. Okay. So delete. Delete. Okay. For now it's not necessary, but it's very interesting now how it will look like. So let's say we create on service layer one more interface. Let's say it will be how it say to do extractor class, and here we remove, we keep okay. So what does that mean? Is that now to do repository class should to-do repository class should implement to-do extractor. So now, when you decide to change in memory, for example, simple repository to in memory, I always forget. Okay. So when you try to add in-memory repository instead of current repository, you will just change, add new. I will add new module and use device dependent. You add new model and use service dependency as here, and that's all. So in this case, device do not know anything about implementation of repository. In hexagonal clean and hexagonal architecture, it's used as out port. It will be the extractor out port class. So, but if we forgot about controller. So what this controller? This controller is will be the same approach, because we already have to-do list service interface. It will be import this service. I will rename it to import, and we add the same. We add the same implementation. I will put it here. But let's name it case. For example, get to do item to do item use case. Oh. And it will be implementation of to-do list import class. Then to do and endpoint will be require device, or in our case use cases. In our case use cases. And if you see central of our package is use cases instead of repository. If you look on this first example, so this dependency, arrow of dependency, direction of dependency, sorry, is like here. And our service required concrete implementation of repository. And in this example, service do not include any other packages or modules. And it quite, for me, it was hard to understand in first place, but Now it's bring for me some clarification, so we can concentrate on more important stuff and on, for example, when you start a new module or new project, you can concentrate on important stuff. I will not cover things like we also, except of use cases, repository, controller, we should have domain module, because I do not want to spend a lot of time on this. It's just, I'll say, quick introduction to context what we will do today. Domain. So now domain is it's, I'll say, package. First place, of course, it contains objects which we will manipulate, and it will be core object in our application. So in use case, you require domain module or domain package, which is main, and it's, let's say, king of the project is domain package or module. So let's try to implement this approach in our simple project. What I have now, I created simple to do application. It's like template, and I have a classic Spring Boot application which we can run, but I first of all, as I remember, I created added Spring Postgres support, but for now it's not matter for us. We concentrate just for infrastructure and modules. So what I'm going to do, looking on this, I would say, looking on this picture, I will persistence. I will try to create structure, the same structure. So first of all, I will create a new folder. Let's try from first and last. So for me, domain is the first. So in domain. Second project, let's add to this project domain touch domain Gradle build, as I remember. Sorry, build Gradle. Domain build Gradle. Next, we will create use cases. And let's use cases build touch.gradle. Okay, what next? After use cases, we have persistence or web. For now, I will create REST. So make REST rc main Java and touch REST build.gradle. Okay, and finally persistence. And touch. Okay, so we created these modules, and now we should include them. Oh, let's create also common I will explain why we use this module maybe today, maybe later, but it's important by my opinion. So make dir common the types, common types, let's see main touch common types ready. Okay, looks like we have created. I will add a simple to remember all these modules, just simple list. Oh, I will add to readme. So, modules structure. So we created the main, then we created base, then we created rest module, structure as person, then common types. Why I would say embedded types, and because in the future you add common events and other common stuff. So we need types. Okay, common types. We will mark. So now we should, in our configuration, include them. That ingredient configuration includes them. As I remember, include looks like here, but I can forgot the main. Let's check. Will it work? The main use cases. And next one is rest. Then it will be persistence, and then it will be common types. Maybe I should something like here, but we'll see. Also, I will check a version of Gradle 21. Okay. Forgot how to open. Okay, 21. Okay, it's good. Modules, common, the main distance test. I don't know. Oh, test and use cases. Okay, looks good for me right now. Now we need to add in our build Gradle dependency on this project. So what we are going to do is, first of all, add include implementation. So implementation project. Let's say domain. Next one will be use cases. Next one will be rest. Next one will be persistence, and I usually use commons types. Okay, we have problem is okay project type. Let's say without common types. Okay, I missing something. I think that first of all we need to add additional configuration for this file, but we will optimize this next time. So first of all, we use, okay, let's just copy this. And add here. We do not need this stuff. Also, what we're gonna to add here is group and version. We should use the same version. Next time we will change it. Common types. Now we will update this and remove all these comments because I did not add, still not add implementation project common types. Maybe I need, let's do this not for embedded, for domain, for example. It will be the same, but for domain. Okay. We added the domain. Also, I need to add make dir domain src main Java. Yep, here. Will it work or not? I presume that it should work. Okay. Looks like it worked. Then we create our package. Okay, let's say how we say home, to do, domain, and class to do item. I would say the item most of all it will be ID. It's simple application, so for now I will not create additional complexity, but in demonstration how I use usually. So usually it's a primitive type ID, but I will add to the item ID one more class. If you use Kotlin, it's more simply for Kotlin. Use create primitive types. So it's like wrappers for primitives, because on byte level this wrapper will be removed and it will be manipulated primitive type of value instead of wrapper. So it will be memory and threads. Now that's all. So we have ID, we have text. Let's keep string. This for demo, and it's keep it text. Or let's take it item. Didn't use proper. It's called value object in architecture terminology. Now I will do break to check because looks like I'm streaming for myself. Yes, looks like I'm streaming. Okay, now I enable it and try to hear. Okay, it looks like picture is very bad. Very bad. It did not show fault. Oh my gosh. Yes, because I wrong. Okay, now it should work. Yes. It looks like it's better. Quality. I should quality. But still okay. So okay, now I see. It looks like my voice very bad. So except of ID and item, let's add local date time created. You can add a local date time updated. For example, if you use something updated, but for simple application is not necessary. So, but let's keep it. Let's finish it. Oh, I hear some. So local datetime finish it by, and it can be null. Usually I use annotation which called CSR 35, I guess. Control. And I will explain why I use this. Rather short, and let's use it, and I explain why I use. In Kotlin, you have ability to use question mark to mark that this field can be null, but in Java I use the following approach. It's in domain, so we just add in domain section dependencies, like here. So what will add, why it's important for me users? Now I have null annotation, but looks like it's not added. Yes, cause we didn't know where to get this dependence. So we'll try once again. So problems, I guess. Thoughts, patience, and points, version structure problems. So okay, so now it's here. Also, we can use sorry, I used wrong annotation. Null label, and for this we can use non-null, but in project we can use some presume that if record do not have this annotation, it's a priori non-null, and add annotation nullable just for nullable fields. It will reduce number of this annotation, and code will be more clear. And by my opinion, it's if you have some thoughts about how it can be improved in Java, let me know. So I added module domain. Let's add now the same for use case and other modules. Our modules. Let's add to the same to persistence. Okay. Also, I will add persistence framework GPA. Go from here and add to persistence. I exclude tests for now. Not necessary. It's not our current goal. So Postgres I will remove too. What next? So we have added persistence. We added dependencies, but also I added to do domain use cases. Maybe common, but maybe not. I just keep it for now because no implementation from here. Then I should add to here and try to import. Okay. 25 persistence. Let persist. Also, I need to create a class at least. Okay, it's not added. settings, persist again. I forgot how correct use persistence. Persistence. So looks like I use correct name. Yes, correct. Here name directory correct. Then we add new class. Let's say will be persist. And the name class, for example, stub. Go next. We've successfully added domain and persistence. Then let's do the same for REST. I know maybe if I will use something like new model and it will be more quicker, but I try to go step by step, and for beginner it will be helpful, because when I learn this stuff, for me it's not obvious all these things. So let's test. Also I should use Spring Web. Put it here. And also settings. Let's try to re-import sync Gradle. Okay. Persistence project. I forgot in Gradle rename. Looks like not REST. Will be, I would say, get items. Get to do items endpoint. Will be REST controller. Okay. Without REST controller. In web. Why it's not working? Because the implementation REST. Interesting. Why not work now? What's the problem here? Required by persistence. Think boot started JPA, but looks like this project not find this. Oh, yeah. Now I need somehow that. Okay, first problem which we faced in. Let's try to figure out how we can handle this. See that root project used plugins, bring new plugins, but honestly, let's say I will stop this and get back later for this. So I need persistence. Starter +335. Go to persistence. And add version. Okay. And try to update. Now it should, yes. Also web. Okay. To web. Insert. Okay, now work. Start worked. But I see errors. Get back, design later. So to that we should add this. Go to use cases. Add use cases. Remove here and add to settings. And it should work. Yes. Okay, and the last, but definitely not least, is common types. So common we will not use, we will use types. Okay, let's go to any common types with no dependency required. So you can just create simple type common. It will be example just for our course. Let's say it will be to do item ID or tab, just tab. And we need to include settings. Our types and add to our main notation project common types. Try to think gradable. Okay, now we what we did, we created module structures for our to-do application. Now looks like structure is finished, and the structure similar that we covered before here. And now I will try to implement one use case when user, for example, load this application and on home page we should see all current non-finished to-do tasks. So how I will do this? Usually, people work from database and have another point of start points, but I will try to start from endpoint. And don't ask me why from endpoint, just because for now I want to how to say, now I need this. So what I should do is open REST, go to get endpoints, and it should be REST controller. Then it will be get mapping. So what I should return is response entity, as I remember, no? Response entity. Here I will be returning back list of what? List of items. Let's presume that I reduce verbosity, and we presume that to-do item is the same as item. So we work in context to-do, and I presume that it will be clear even for me in the future. So get all and return response entity. Okay, body will be list of okay, let's collections empty list. Now we need item. So first of all, we think what is the item. So I will try to explain what my thoughts about that. So let's on the REST level, I need item. Okay, I will extend this for some. I need item, and for example, ID, text, and what if I don't need information about date created? Okay, let's say it's enabled and I need to create it, but don't need to show some field. For example, the deleted it. If, for example, it's internal information, and it's imagine that internal information. I clearly understand that maybe information about item delete date is maybe useful on maybe useful on maybe useful on UI side. So let's get back to this. So what my point is that usually people use one entity and use it across levels. For example, in service the same, in REST the same, and at the repository the same, but usually it's not good. For simple cases it's good, but for more complex stuff it's very hard, because you should remember that this field used on repository level and another for service level, another for web. But usually part of repository internal structure of this entity we should not expose on upper level. That's why I usually use it can be called TTO or wrapper or web model. Now I will just use web model for REST, and then we will see how I will use the same approach for repository level. Okay, so I have item web model, and just simply create. Why I use inner class? Because it's a simple structure, simple. I will explain later. So record, what we are going to have. Looks like it will be int id. Then it will be, let's check, we already created to-do item. Finish it, we skipped. And if you see, instead of object the same as instead of to-do item, I use to-do item, I use integer, because well, for this level, its structure is it's just complicated and not necessary. And okay, created usually. I decided that for me, for now, not needed this field. Okay, now what I want to use is usually for simple cases, people usually use repository or service here, but I will use use cases. And on next steps, we will see how I will do this. So now I use what is that? What I should do? One thing, it's like single responsibility principle for our controller or endpoint. So it's simple, just get all to-do items, and that's all. So I do not plan add here another endpoints, for example, add item, remove item, update item. It's separate class and separate use case. As a user, I want to get all. As a user, I want to get all my items, and this is use case. As a user, I want to add new item. It's another use case. As a user, I want to delete item. It's third use case. You understood? You know what I mean? I know it's simple for now, but in common cases, when, for example, you want to finish one item and notify another person that you finished the task, for example. So you can, it's another use case. So maybe, so my point of view is you divided these simple use cases for different flows. I name it not I'm usually for myself I name it, it's just flow. And next I will explain more stuff about that. So I already told that I will use case. It's aka service, but different trigger. So let's talk about what I want to do. I want to get all items, and just add use case. But even more, I already know my approach, and for example, we can choose naming conventions. Just do not every time use use case. Yes, you can use it. For example, some use cases requires just check something. For example, require is on card a lot enough money. For example, on this on payment card, yes, and it's use case, but it's just checked rule or something else. So you can use different for use cases different names, which is more verbosable and clear to understand by your team members. But now, for simplicity and repeatable, I will add the name of the variable this word use case, and just you can invoke, execute. I will use invoke use case. So I want to reply in this case. I don't know how it's correct name. Just invoke, and because I do not have any additional properties, yes, you maybe in the future you want okay you want to say stop. You use case, but what if user have login, password, and session, and how you now understand for what user you want to for what user you should return these items. So for now we can use this emulates or skip it for simplicity. I just mentioned this, but I skip this. So for example, in URL path, you can not client, it's not user or some param param with some ID which will indicate so for what user you want to add this. But for simplicity, a clear understanding, common principle, I will avoid this. And next, maybe if at least 5 people had like on this video, I will continue. But I don't know, maybe I just had videos without streaming. Okay, what I'm going to return? I'm going to return what work for this use case domain. What I have in domain is do item. Yes, but it will be a list to do item items. Okay, I need dependency, so go to our dependency and add implementation project in the domain. Update and try. Okay, we have import. Okay, now we have. I will use var because I like it. It's in Kotlin, it's just var. I don't need to use final, but I usually I work with some people which very often use multiple times change variable values, and by my opinion, it's very unintuitive and bring more unclear. So I just use this and add this to items. Okay, we added this, and now I need to create local variable. No field will be field type will be get all items, but I will call it how we call it import. create class. So where it should be created? You can answer on this question in comments or chat. I know no one here, so I speak with myself, but maybe some person finds this video, and I know it's not good quality and not good sound, but we all should start from something. So I start from this setup, and maybe then I will improve my speaking skills, improve my ability to share my thoughts more smoothly, and maybe by some devices. But for now, it's like free to just find how and start do what I decided to do. So that's all. Sorry for that. So this interface, maybe you should want, if you check, if you see, for example, on this diagram, so you will told that, or you will tell that this service you should service or port you should use in service, and controller should include service. In our approach, REST will require it. If you see to do endpoint required to do list port. So let's do this. First of all, we should include use case. Use case. Okay, we included use cases. Then we should endpoint and go to use cases and to do use cases. So I will create new class which will called work on do use cases, and class name port. Okay, it will be public but interface. Okay, public interface, and create object. You will ask why object, because we do not add in implementation in Gradle build file dependency, required dependency. So it will be list to do item. As you see, we do not have this, so go to use cases and we'll add implementation project and domain, and let's think our build. So as you see, we have ability to use list. Also, if you remember, we can add annotation, but we decided that we will use non-null, just non-null. Okay, now you see that we have a problem, because it's show us that the problem is with what? With type. So what we can do here now, we can somehow convert our video items to web model, and where you decide, usually people use this in services. For example, if you need this in this model, some people convert to do in service level, on service level, yes. And if you think about it a little bit, you understand that this is, I would say, forgot, responsibility. So responsibility to converting is on server service level or on controller level, or maybe in repository you can already convert to required type. So in this, for example, if you have multiple scenarios and multiple types for getting item, because for first scenario you shoot item with 2 fields, and third case you need 5 fields, and other maybe you need some additional calculations and so on. So what my thought about this, not my thought, it's all information from internet and from experience my colleague and my best, okay, my friend Ivan, which okay, so let's skip this. So what I want to say is, for now we can return, even we can return string. Why not? We can get items, we can invoke, and for more readability we can use these items. Or I just use, as I previously used, invoke but stream, and I will try to explain. It's like, will be like flow. So what I'm going to do, stream I map to, I delegate responsibility for mapping to this level, because for this level requires this such type. So usually I locate this transformation to end object. So web model to create method 2, which will be list of item web model, the item, and return what? It will be return item web model new, and to do item get ID, or why its values, it should be value. So value, then we can add as item, so it will be to do item. What is item? String. Okay, but it's list, so I do not need to list. Will be something like that. So simple. Also I can private, and map, and select. Oh no, to list. As you see, it's quite not good. Looks like not good, so I export something like here. Final var items, items. Okay, so now it looks like it's good work for now, but where implementation of this invoke? Get mapping, let's say items, just items. Let's say AP version 1 AP items. Okay, but why it's not indicate that this is a problem? Interesting. Let's add constructor parameter, and it should call this. Okay, I forgot final. I got it. So for now, it should indicate that problem is we do not have implementation. In this implementation, I will add here, add scenarios. Oh no, I will add here scenario. I forgot how correct scenarios. I looks like I accidentally removed my diagram. I think in history now I will redraw this diagram. So scenario, but in multiple. Git, sorry. Multiple. Okay, let's. I will use this word, but maybe rename scenarios, and the name it will be get all items use case. Now I don't need to public this class component. Okay, as you see here, I do not have ability to mark that string, found it. How I handle this? I usually use type name it Jakarta. Name it Jakarta, and I usually use this annotation. Jakarta dependencies injection of me. Okay, but I forgot SR the SR and Jakarta inject. Oh, okay. Jakarta inject. Looks like I hear that another version already exists. Another version. Jakarta injection copy version. Inject copy. Looks like this one. Let's check. And try to use it. Yes. Okay. Implements get all import. Okay. Now we should choose where we should choose where we get this data from internet, from another REST client, from message broker, or usually it's not working like that with message broker, but you got what I mean. So in this point we how to say, we can not use concrete really implementation of source where we get this information. And how I will do that? I will use outport. It's called outport. I do not have this, but I will try to something like here. So our use case is output and import. So import used, I would say import used. Okay, I will change something like that. So to REST use import and inject whole module which call use case. Yes. Then in use concrete use case, let's say it's implementation, concrete use case, use output, and then for example it's persistence will, as you, if you follow me, this directional dependency directional looks like here. So now when you implement use case, you don't need to know about persistence layer, you don't need to know anything about REST layer. Remember in REST layer what we did, we convert all what bring us use case and change it. It's not a, I would say, business logic. Mapping, by my opinion, is not a business logic, and we do not should focus on this part because business, no, it's not necessary to know on business logic side what is how we convert data or another, how say, we do not need to know how convert these things because we can use some abstract and other tools and other dependencies to transform information data or our objects. And we try to use business logic in one place, focus on this business logic, and I would say, and it will bring to our project more clear and simplification to support the squad many years. And even if you will switch to another project and then return back to you with this principle, you will clear understand the approach, structure, and this thing, and it will help you to couple of minutes, couple of seconds, find place where you want to change something or enhance logic, or for example you want to migrate to another database, and it will be very simple because you need just create another for example instead of REST gRPC, you create a new module gRPC. You do not change anything on business side, on business logic. You just focus on this part with gRPC, and that's all. And also you can support multiple different types, gRPC and REST at the one time, and that modules will be used just one use case because you want to consistency with on different types REST or gRPC. You want to consistency and want that behavior will be the same, and behavior will be in one place on business logic, and part is use case, specific use case with this logic. And I hope you understand my point on this. So now sorry for my third time, so I'll already get back to talk, and let's back to code. So now what I'm trying, what I will do. First of all, as I already mentioned here, I need use case work with import, with output. So now I should create output, which will be, how to say, get all items repository output. Let's keep this get all. Okay, and now we can create this interface. Where will we create it? Not in scenarios. Let's add it to, oh yeah, I know some people which use output and port and other things. Yes, I can do the same, but okay, let's add outputs. And what will bring? Add constructor parameter, yes. What it will be bring? It will be bring get all port. Okay, what is it? It's another way. It's an extractor or getter. So think about this like behavior name, not just the same as use case name and so on. I will just use this get all items repository output. Then get all. Maybe you will have here some parameters, for example, client ID, user ID, and other things. For now, it's not necessary. Once again, it's just simple, very simplified case. Okay, so what we will have, what will this can bring here? So let's think. It can bring us to us list of items. It's simplified. Let's simplify it, and it will be bring list to do items. Very plain logic, but maybe I will. Okay, let's change our. No, it's already I spent a lot of time for this introduction, so I will finish with simple and then we extend this. If you will be interested in, why not? Okay, okay, to do. And let's say we can do something like the tool stream. Yes, our use case looks like without any logic. So in future, to do, we will add a real life use case with business logic. For example, use AI to estimate based on similar finished tasks. What you think? It will be useful and interesting to do something with that. I will similar okay. For now, it's something like here. Also, interesting thing. Get all active. So, for example, you don't need to see items which out of date, for example, or items which removed or finished. Yes. So maybe this use case we can name get all active items in it, or non-finished items. So let's change, not get all, get active items. Use case get all, no, get active items import, and get active items repository. Okay, get active, invoke. What do we invoke? We invoke get active items. Word import, it's not good for me, and I will just remove it. Okay, for me it's more better. So I invoke not in or out port, is I know this to understanding this way, but for me it's just no, I don't like it. The same with output, but I for now I keep it, and we will rename this another time. So where we will locate implementation of this port? Yes, if you follow me, you know that it will be in persistence module, and instead of tab, we will have something like in memory, repository and adapter. Let's say in memory repository adapter, which will include it will be class, will be named, but with persistence we can already have component and implements get output. Okay, as you see, we should include this dependency to this project. So I will add this dependency implementation what? Project. Use cases. Okay, we added use cases. Now we should have ability to implement this. Okay, as you see, we missed something. Now we should add step of use cases. The main. Return back to memory. We do item. And what we will have? We will have a private final map. Let's say it will be integer and to do item. Stop and new concurrent. Oh, concurrent measurement. Okay, that's what we're gonna do is stub various stream filter. What we will filter item the objects is null. No. Okay, is null. Item finished by and collect to string to list. return. That's the simple approach to our full flow. Also, I want to cover here, okay, let's add some static. It's just for test. I never did this before, but I just for testing. Start, put one new to do item, will be to do item one, then item first task, start task, and created local date time now. Oh, it's static, but I should not use static. So maybe I will add this to constructor. Let's say constructor. Let's add, and we forgot now. But if you see it's not a good, use something like that. I don't like this. So first of all, I will extend this class public static to do item ID value of or from integer. Oh, sorry, int ID, and return to do item ID new ID, and now I can reduce from. What next? I can simplify this. What I want to simplify, public to do item from. We just use I will just use the same without return new. Maybe also I will use something like that. New to do item. No, I like to do item. New to do item ID from ID item created. And then now we hide this now, and do not create multiple constructors. I don't like multiple constructors because I ate it a lot of with some guys which create a lot of constructors with different build params, and it's look like ugly and not understandable, and it's multiple cases in one place. Oh my gosh, it's a pain and blood from my eyes. Okay, so we simplified this approach, so now we can use something like here without without ID, and it will enormously simplify it, by my opinion. Item public static. Do item from. Oh, it looks like better. And now we can use first static task. Okay. Let's say second. Okay. Okay, so it will be enough for now. And you will ask, DreamingInProd, what next? You created multiple separate modules. How we will look, how it will work all together. So for now, because I spent a lot of time, I will show most enormous way, by my opinion, but then we will extend this approach to a good and clear approach. So if you see this comment component added, let's try to go to let's see one more time our configurations, dependencies, a common we can skip, rest we edit. Let's just run it to do application and check. I know it's better to add test, but it's for now it's plain and it's just demo. Okay, I do not have link. Okay, here I need to Spring dependency. Okay, so I removed Spring Boot. Starter. I need link boot starter. Okay. Will it work for us? Will it work for us? No, it's not work. Okay, H2 because okay, application properties, no. Where this use H2? Oh, because Spring GPA without Spring GPA. Okay, so for now persistent. I will remove persistence. I will remove persistence. Oh no, I not at incorrect place. Persistence build, and now we should go to use case and copy this one. Okay. Okay. Now it should work, but we need change to name it. Okay, let's try once again. Oh. I want to finish now because I do not have any time to continue this, but I hope it will work. Now I will try to localhost default port, then version, IP, and to do or items. I forgot. Let's check in. I would say let's get active repository. Okay, I forgot endpoint rename. Get all. Get to do. Okay, it's wrong name. Now we should get active to do items endpoint and it API items. I hope it will work because I really need to go. Okay, and looks like work as expected. So quick assumption what we did. instead of classical control service repository, we created module infrastructure for our clean architecture project. We we use right direction dependencies. REST, if you check, REST should include use case and domain to implement this part. And use case, if you go to, for example, in use case, you will see that it requires just domain. And now we do not consider this, not consider. Also, it can be used maybe in future will require common things, but for now it's required domain, which is if you see we do not have any dependencies here. So yeah, I know this thing, it's just extending language, and I can't if Java, it will be better if Java already included annotations or another mechanism to mark nullable and non-nullable as Kotlin. So we will just remove it. So usually in our clean architecture tells that the domain should not require any another modules, but in my interpretation, we can require some simple and not just small module libs which can enhance your language which you use or module which you use without additional. As you see, we do not have any Spring dependency here. So what it and you can use it even without Spring. So it gives you ability to write down your own let's say modules which will not use Spring GPA instead of GPA Spring.gbc and other things, and it's a very flexible and bring very powerful thing which by my opinion it's very great, and I'm glad that I found a lot of resources and it's compiled in my head some of these approaches, because some people from I would say from people with knowledge about hexagonal architecture, let's say very they have very strange concerns that we should every interface of every class should mark use case or import or output. With this approach, by my opinion, it's simpler, because when I read, for example, I want to get active, I already see get active items. Okay, to do items, and here to do items. Let's rename it. Get active items and points. So it's very simple and clear, and you do not, if you see with this is because your class is very simple. Your class contains on one page, and you do not need to scroll up, scroll down, and so on. Let's say, for example, if, for example, let's say you want to add add item endpoint. What you will have items. It will be I will quick show, but it will be post mapping. Post mapping, it will be add item. It will be a request body, I guess. it will be, for example, web item, item web model, and it can item web model, and this item web model can be not the same as get active. You can extract these classes and name it add item web model, get item web model, and so on. So it's not necessary, but in my opinion, you easily can, for example, I have ID item and animation or another things. For example, on we can just I would say from to okay, let's do item model, which will, for example, it's do not have ID. Okay, I decided to skip this. So let's say item web model, and then we, instead of get active items, okay, we just new class, it will be interface, add item interface, and then it will be invoked not get active, it will add item, this will be removed, constructor parameter, add item, I will add item, invoke, we will return item, will be item request web model, item request web model, and here we can return back, we'll remove this, and we will create item, to do item, and to do item, it will be response web model. Response web model, and it will be int ID, and for example, as you see, the different things can bring very simple invoke. What we want to invoke is I would say it's the add item, but it's like behavior, and to do item we will have new record, new item, and it will contain string item or text. Then it's like quick show what I'm talking about before. So invoke, I should invoke what I should invoke, item request from to, okay, so usually from to, okay, from to do item will be new item equal, and also you can use new item here, but create method, return new item, okay, let's say it will be text, okay, let's text, then new item we go to for new item and extend it. Okay, so now what we want to implement is use case. So now I will implement scenario, add item use case. It will be named case, implements add item, and what we will do, we should logic here, business logic, so somehow we can understand how it's work. So for now I will use output to add item. Let's say persist item output, persist output, create interface where we will do this outputs. Okay, edit. Now it will be final version. So I'll say persist execute, no, port execute. Okay, let's persist. What we persist, new item. Okay, you can transfer new item here, or create new to-do item. I will create new to-do item from. So now I need multiple things. ID. Now I will use another port. Get last item. I would say get next item ID out port. Get next output. Okay, where we create this interface. Yes, in output. Okay, get next. It will return back integer int. Okay, and it will be item ID. Also, we can return back item ID already, but we emulate business logic like here. So item ID to item and to item ID to item ID do item ID from item ID, new item ID. Okay, have ID. Next, I will do item ID. Okay, just item ID. Item ID. What next? From what? From item new item text. What next? Local ox. One more thing, we can reduce this. Like here, we can reduce like here, local date next. Okay, now why it's important, because this logic in domain, and there is a rule or logic most closer in domain, so created this I think it's very important. Also, we can even translate this to the item, for example. I will do next time and show how I usually do. I just did it for new item ID. I just added for understanding how simple you can new item. New item, new ID. So new item. So we have item, persist item. We persisted item. What we going to return? Nothing, because and further we will item extend part with transaction and so on. So we generated, but what I want to say that what if we will use something like that and use something like that next, and something like how say supplier what integer index generator or index supplier index supplier get. Okay, we have issue, but as you see, logic with creation u contains in domain part, domain logic with creation ID do item. So we can even do for simplicity index from supplier, or this way, UID, UID item. So okay, so as you see, all logic in domain part without additional things. Yes, we have our port, and maybe we should use this transaction, but not for now. So also we have error message. Let's check what's the message. Okay, we need to remove. Now it's on domain level located. Also we have index supplier, and we can create atomic integer new, and use atomic integer in increment and get. Okay, we can add sort, second sort, fourth subtask, sort. Okay, why I need this? No need this. And first task ID, second task ID. Okay, maybe should, it's just for example. So I usually do not do like that, but it's code, just stop code, and I don't want to spend more time on this. So add item, we add item, we proceed them, let's implement persist. So where we allocated persist, get active repository port, get affect items, and we should get active, okay, get active items repository in memory repository. So you can put here add item, reverse, get next, and persist item, persist new item. Let's say persist new item, and go to our adapter. Let's say persist new item, and get next output. Implement methods. What we have got here is stub is set stream max, or we can use old collections and max, and go to stub case set. Okay, max but +1. Okay, so next we are implemented. Now we should persist somehow. Where our persist? Next and persist. So how we will persist? Stub put item id value, value, and item. What next? So maybe he already here, and maybe let's say push map, and what is return? Value returns the previous value associated with key, or null if there was no mapping for key. A null return can also indicate that the map previously associated null with key. Okay, so if null objects is null, non-null, okay, non-null, if row illegal type exception. And why it's illegal? Because ID was duplicated, and in the future we will return to this, because how we will in our structure, how we handle exceptions. It's very interesting point. So what we're gonna do is to emulate post and try to let's try to run, name it, persist. Okay, let's run it and check. Okay, I forgot return response entity. Okay, item not item response web model to from item. Okay, create method, and how it will look like ID and item. So it will be from no new item request web model, and item ID value and item. Okay, what's wrong? I should expect ID and ID value integer. And what's wrong? Request item response. Okay, it's request response item response. Okay, so looks like a little bit more, but if we remove our item response item response look model. Okay, look pure. Okay, so it's simple. Public to next. Also, we can add here simple validation or validation on at item level. For example, it's not a requirement now, so we can have additional. Okay, let's skip it for now, but we do validation example. So validation example. Okay, let's run it and finish for today. First of all, we check one more time that we have subtask already, and we need to say post example yeah, I know that in IDEA post request typic line. I don't remember, it's typic line. No, I don't remember. Endpoints, no. Okay. Post generate request. Okay. It's good. New item from best IDE ever. Not no, it's shortcut not worked. Delete request. Okay, something I will have. Okay, why? Okay, interesting. Why now? Interesting. Because from next. Okay, looks like response files. Okay, let's debug. Try to see what is going on. Why we do not have. Okay, I see. So as usual, I forgot private final and constructor parameters. One more thing, one more time. So okay, new item from the future. And let's go to items. New item from the future, and the ID is okay. So for now we can finish our session. I hope you enjoyed. If you something don't know, do not hesitate. Write down any comments. I will be glad at least couple of them to just feedback, because when I removed a couple of streams because this topic's not interesting. It's interesting for me, but I think this topic about structure is very interesting, and you can find useful this information in your project. Have a good day, and cheers.